Hi, it's Samantha Brown again, and as promised in my first set of videos, I was going to record some additional videos that had some healthier options to some of your favorite recipes. So what I'm going to do today is make my chili recipe. I personally use 93% or leaner ground beef for my chili, but I also realize that not everyone is a ground beef person, so you can exchange that out for ground turkey breast or ground chicken breast. The key is to remember that it has to be the breast meat. Otherwise, you're going to have a fattier, more greasy chili. So you don't want that. So definitely make sure it's breast meat, or you can even grind it yourself in your food processor if you choose to buy it that way. But to get started, the first thing we're going to do is heat your pan. And you want to take a pretty big chicken fryer size pan. That's what I choose. And you're going to take some non-fat sticking spray, or the just your regular cooking spray, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to coat your pan. You can see my pan is hot because it's smoking a little bit. Next thing you're going to do is take a small onion, and you're going to go ahead and get that browned. You're going to get it browned, and then you're also going to take 2 cloves of garlic. And you're just going to go ahead and cook these until they sweat a little bit. It doesn't take much, I promise you that. After you've gone ahead and you've gotten that a little brown, which my pan was pretty hot right away, so it didn't take much to do that, you're going to go ahead and you're going to add your meat of choice. So, like I said, I took a pound of 93% lean ground beef. Not everybody likes it. Do not hesitate to swap it out for something else. Okay? I typically cook the meat on a medium setting until you get it all brown and good to go. And it usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes. Not even really. 10 minutes would be on the hefty side. I'm going to say it browns fairly quickly, maybe closer to the 5-minute mark. But you're not going to season your meat or anything until you get it all brown, with the exception of your onion and your garlic. And the reason for that is because you want your onion and your garlic to cook into your meat, and that's the flavor that you want cooked into the meat. You're going to start to season after, and you're going to see it's because of the different items that we're going to put in the chili that are going to give it some distinct flavor. So, my meat is getting brown pretty quickly here. Like I said, it doesn't take much because your pan's hot and it's ground beef. So, typically ground beef doesn't really take too long to brown. On the chicken and the turkey, you have to be a little more careful because at least with ground beef, you're going to see it get to a darker brown consistency when it's done cooking, whereas the turkey and the chicken, it doesn't do that. So you really can't tell too much if it's still pink or not. So just be careful when you use the ground chicken and the ground turkey. But for the most part, you'll be able to tell. So I'm pretty much browned up here, believe it or not. And the next thing I'm going to do is actually grab a spoon that I forgot to grab. And I'm going to take a little bit of tomato paste. And the tomato paste, I'll probably take about a heaping spoonful, teaspoonful, which is probably about a tablespoon to 2. I would say about 2 tablespoons. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to make that consistency, as you can see. I'm going to try to tilt it. And you're just going to kind of combine it into your pan now. Okay, and just get that ground beef and the onions and the garlic, and just get it all combined to make a nice paste with the tomato paste. And you want to cook it out a little bit because tomato paste, it is in a can. You can actually, I did find in the grocery store that you can actually buy it in a tube or a jar now, which was news to me. It is a little more money. I'm about eating healthy on a budget. I don't have a lot of money to spend on organic products and things like that, so you won't hear me say it has to be organic or it has to be fresh or it has to be this. If there's a quicker way and it still maintains its healthiness, I'm on it. So I don't fear the cans. I don't fear the jarred things. I don't fear frozen vegetables. or canned vegetables. I say if it's more cost effective, go ahead and do it. So as you can see, I use canned tomato paste. Now that I've got that cooked up a little bit, pretty much the rest of your chili is done here. What you're gonna do now is take a can of diced tomato. Again, I am all about the quickness. I work full time. I don't have time to be spending chopping and dicing and everything else. The extent of my chopping and dicing here had to do with my onion and my garlic. This is a purely good can of diced tomato. Just pour it in. That's what's going to give you most of your liquid texture. It's also going to give you your tomato base of your chili. You're going to go ahead and just mix that in and get that all married together, as they say. The next thing I'm going to do is take 2 types of beans. Now, excuse me, the beauty of this chili is that while there's a pound of ground beef in it, we're going to add some additional protein and fiber with beans. I use a low sodium canned red kidney bean, and just one 16 or 15 ounce can. And also to give it a little more bulk, I'm going to go ahead and take a can of white beans. These I haven't found in low sodium yet. I'm a big fan of low sodium products, and I try to stay away from sodium as much as I can without it being too crazy. So unfortunately I haven't found them in the white beans yet. But just go ahead and rinse them underneath the sink. And that's the other thing you want to do. Drain your beans, rinse them underneath the sink in a strainer, because that's going to get any additional sodium off. You really don't want to put too much sodium into your cooking, especially if you're somebody that likes to season with salt and pepper and things like that. So go ahead and take your red and your white beans, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to combine them together as well. Now, be careful, just fold, because the reality is at the end of the day, beans are soft and they break. So you don't want to go ahead and do too much there. Again, you're going to just go ahead and you're going to see, I'm going to show you right here, how much has bulked up already. Look at how far that pound of ground beef has gone with just the 2 extra cans of beans and also the can of the tomatoes. Now here's my secret ingredient. This is a Southwestern canned corn mixture. And it has a little tiny black beans in it, and it has the corn, and it also has some red peppers in it. I like to throw it into the chili because, you know what, I know there are people out there that say, oh, stay away from corn, it's not good for you to lose weight. Corn is a vegetable. Embrace corn. He's a nice little guy, and he doesn't hurt you, I promise. I've been on Weight Watchers since April, and I have not stayed away from corn, I have not stayed away from white potatoes, and I've lost almost 50 pounds. So, embrace the corn. I'm not saying eat it every day. I'm not saying it's the best replacement for a green vegetable, but don't be afraid of the corn. The corn is your friend. This happens to be a great little Southwestern mixture that you can find in the can section of your grocery store, and it's got a little bit of kick to it too, because it does have that Southwestern flair. That's my secret ingredient to my chili. It's going to give you, again, consistency. It's going to give you bulk. It's going to give you a little bit of fiber, and it is going to give you a little bit of vegetable. Now, like I said, don't bank on it being your entire vegetable serving for the day, because corn is not like that, but it gives it a little bit of a different taste as well. It kind of gives you that sweetness that you're going to need in the chili without putting in a lot of sugar or you know, anything that might, you know, not be something you would typically put in chili. Like, some people put barbecue sauce in chili. I personally don't. I go ahead and use, you know, just my regular tomato base. So we've got all that mixed in now. Now this is where your seasoning comes in. Of course, you're going to use a little bit of salt. I say a little bit because everybody's different. Let your guests or let the people that are eating your meal season their own salt. That's the key. Pepper, same thing. Just use a little bit. You don't need an awful lot. Just enough to give it a seasoning, give it a flavor. Now, to my surprise over the years, chili powder is not that spicy. So, go ahead and use as much as you want. Some like to use more, some like to use less. Like I said, I have not found chili powder, at least the type that I have bought to be too spicy. So go ahead, add 2 tablespoons, I would say at least. If you want to add more, add more. If you want to add less, add less. That's fine too. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead, add a little bit of cumin. Cumin is a common factor in all chili recipes I found. So this is actually a combination of a lot of different recipes that I looked up. I use about a teaspoon of cumin. It doesn't need to be a lot, just a little bit. And then the last thing I'm going to go ahead and add, and this is because I like my chili a little bit spicy, go ahead and add yourself some pepper flakes or red pepper flakes. If you are not a spicy person, you can absolutely 100% leave it out. It is going to give it a little bit of a kick. Red pepper flakes are very, very spicy. Be careful. If you have kids and you're worried about the spice on them, just leave it out. Again, that's something you can go ahead and add in later. Just mix it in with your chili. Last thing I'm going to do, because my texture is a little bit thick right now, is go ahead and add some water. Add it to your consistency. I added about a half a cup. It leaves it a little bit soupy. And then we're going to go ahead and let this cook off for about 15 to 20 minutes. You're done. That's it. That's your chili recipe. And I don't know, what were we in? Done 10, 15 minutes? So this is what it looks like. As you can see, it's really yummy. It's really delicious. And would you believe that all of this has really no added fat? It has a ton of fiber and a lot of protein. So I hope that you enjoy this recipe. I hope that you take the time to try it. And if you did try it and you liked it, just leave me a post and let me know. There's definitely more recipes to come, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks so much for joining me, and you have a great day.